What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to My Social Life. This is the podcast where we teach you how to grow on social media by talking to people that have actually done it. Today, I'm joined by Parviz Dov. Parviz is a videographer, a photographer, a content creator. He's a YouTuber. He's a time-lapse wizard, the best person I've seen do a time-lapse ever. He's got over 14,000 followers on Instagram right now, and he's worked with YouTubers like Casey Neistat, Sara Dietschy, Mace, Justin Odisho, and more. Parviz, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So I kind of want to start with photo and video. I know we talked about it a bit before, but how did you get into it?
So basically, I cannot pinpoint one lifetime, but it's like when I was in high school, I took a film class. I think it was like senior in high school or junior in high school. Went to darkroom, created all these photography stuff. But I ended up not doing so great in that class. I think I got like a C minus, possibly a C, you know. But then when I was in college, my first semester, I took a photography class. So I learned about like long exposures, you know, learning about shutter speed, you know, all that. And after that, I think it gave a birth to what is my passion now, you know, photography and video. So I took a couple of years off from 2012 to possibly 2015 or 16, and I started vlogging and making videos. So ever since 2016 or 2017, I've been creating content. Close to full time now. Like every week I create something, like I go out, I shoot, and then I put out things online. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
when you first kind of got started, was there anyone that really inspired you? Like, was there people you look up to maybe either in 2012 or after you took that break? Was there people that you were kind of trying to model your content creation after?
Back in 2012, I don't think no one inspired me to make any videos because there weren't many content creators on online where I followed. But I remember like there was one point where when there was Sandy. Mm-hmm. A Hurricane Sandy. It came around 2012 when I was taking the class in BMCC, which is in like downtown Manhattan. Mm-hmm. So there was like so much water on the highway, on the West Side Highway, and someone captured the water with the whole West Side Highway. And that's a dangerous mission to do for anyone, you know, while there is like a hurricane going on and you're going out to shoot a picture. I don't really know who shot the picture, and that kind of inspired me. I'm like, damn, this person has guts, you know, to go out and shoot in this kind of weather. And then I've kind of, on that day, I saw that picture and I went out and started taking pictures of like all the cars flipping, you know, like they were flipped around in like the Brooklyn area, South Brooklyn area, and got the pictures of that, and then started to basically, it started to take over my time to time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you said you took it a little bit in college, but you ended up actually dropping out of college. And I not so much want to focus on when you dropped out and why you dropped out, but kind of reflecting back on it now. How do you view that decision dropping out? Do you look back on it as like that was a really good decision, or do you wish you'd stuck with it?
Oh no, that was like the best decisions of my life. But I really liked college. It helped me out, learn about myself, what I like, what I dislike, you know, and it just developed my passion. Because when I was in college, I wasn't studying photography or film. I was there to study accounting, just punching numbers all day long, you know, learning about business law and all these classes you have to take to become an accountant. But when I was taking those classes, I was just like daydreaming to like grab a camera and like make videos, you know. So in order to find what I love, I did something that I really hated, which is crunching numbers all day long, you know.
Yeah.
And then while crunching numbers, I was just like daydreaming, like, oh, if I had a camera right now when I was outside, like I would capture all these pictures or videos, you know. And that kind of like it fed into my passion more and more over time.
Yeah. So when you dropped out, what was that first day where you dropped out? Like, were you kind of like, holy shit, what have I done? Or was it like almost like
I didn't actually drop out. So I finished the semester.
Oh, you just didn't go back.
Yeah. Gotcha. I finished my winter semester. I got all my grades. I looked at my GPA. I wasn't flunking out. I was at 3.3 GPA. I was happy, you know. I was like, okay, my GPA is great, you know. Like, I'm not like flunking out of college at 1.8, you know. And I might just start doing something that I actually love, you know, and start investing my time and money to it. Because at that point, like, I realized how much I had to pay for college after going that semester. I'm like, nah, I don't want to pay that much. I'd rather invest something on something I like, you know, instead of something I don't like. So yeah, it felt pretty incredible. I imagine, like, I just saw the grade. I was like, I don't want to go back. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to become an accountant after I get my degree. Yeah. So that'd be like a, you know, why even go to college anymore, you know? So yeah, that's why I dropped out of college.
Yeah. And were you doing the hyperlapses before college, or was that something you kind of got into after once you'd finished that semester?
My first hyperlapse. No. That was after I dropped out from college. I've never tried a hyperlapse when I was in college. I've always tried like time lapse things, but after I dropped out, I had the time to like focus on hyperlapse and how to create one. Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So what kind of led you to hyperlapses? Like, why did you make that first one, and why did you continue making them after that?
So basically, like I used to do time lapse all the time, so that kind of gave it inspiration. Like, it's kind of boring to get like one angle of like time lapse. You want to like get the views of like different directions, you know, like, there was also one video that inspired me. I think it was sponsored by Turkish Airlines, and the whole video was like hyperlapse videos, you know. I looked at it, I'm like, this is damn interesting. Like, I could probably do that too, you know?
I think I might know the video. Is it kind of the one that's like the Sam Colder style video before Sam Colder? Is it that one?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember the name, but I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah. I forgot who made the video, but it was a really incredible piece of art, basically. I've never seen something like that before. I was like, holy damn. Like, I started searching the guy on Google, like maybe get like DM him or like start working with him, like kind of learn his craft, you know? Yeah. But then I've stumbled upon like a couple of tutorials online, and I started like practicing myself. And then yeah, that's how I pitched my first hyperlapse to like content creators, basically.
Yeah. That's really fair. And then so can you kind of walk me through your process of doing a hyperlapse, almost like just a quick how-to, like from when you get the idea all the way to like exporting that video?
Okay. Getting a lot of text.
Oh, good.
So, okay. I don't know if you guys are using like Canon. There's a viewfinder and there's like points. You could use one of the points as like your sense of direction and look through the viewfinder and take a picture, take a step, take a picture, and just do that until however long you want to go, maybe 400 pictures or 300 pictures. And after you take all these pictures, you batch edit them on Lightroom. So you color correct it, you know, and then you export all the pictures and then you import it to Premiere. You could do it on Premiere, you could do it on After Effects, doesn't matter. Easiest way to do is a Premiere, I guess, you know. So you import and then you image sequence all the pictures that kind of stitches up the whole pictures, like however many pictures you have, and you just drop it on Premiere and then drop it to the timeline and you have your hyperlapse. You might see like a lot of jittery stuff on it, but you could warp stabilize it all the time, you know. So when you warp stabilize it, it becomes like smooth as butter. Yeah, that's the whole process. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
that's awesome.
It's easy to say it, but like when doing it, it gets pretty hard. But once you got your first hyperlapse, it just gets easier and easier. Yeah.
And how often do you kind of go out and make hyperlapses on your own? Is it a pretty regular thing for you?
Not really. Not like it was so cold in New York for the past couple of months. I just didn't want to go out and shoot, you know, like I was staying inside.
I don't blame you. I just had the polar vortex too, right?
Yeah. I was just like posting content, like my old content on Instagram, you know, just like recycle it, reuse it. Because some people, when they go to your Instagram, they don't even bother checking all your work, you know, from like past 6-7 months. They just see like a couple of weeks of your work and then that's it. And then when you repost it and people comment, oh, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, I posted that like a year ago, you know?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's this sense of recycling content on Instagram or anywhere else.
Yeah. And I kind of mentioned in the intro how you've worked with all these like big creators.
Yeah.
Why is that something you decided you really wanted to do? Because I feel like for a lot of people from the outside looking in, like that's a very daunting and difficult task to try and network your way to meet these famous people and then work with them. Like, why is that something that you were like, I'm going to do this?
Okay. I can't I can't pinpoint one thing or one event why I did it or want to do it. But over time, I just worked on videos and I kept creating content. And I was like, well, I'm just doing it for myself as a hobby. Why can't I just like contact people who are up there, who are like content creators who are doing pretty well? Why can't I just like go and create content for them? Like, for example, Casey Neistat, I've been to like Bio's office like so many times already, like try to work for him, handed my resume,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like that went to garbage right after, that happened a couple of times, and that wasn't the approach for me. And I'm like, wait, like what can I do and contribute to his, his content on YouTube? What can I do? Like, he already has workers that do all this stuff in his office, take care and maintain his office. I'm like, he already has those people. I have to find like my niche and like work on it and maybe establish it, and then over time, like I might have a chance to work with them. And that was like in 2016, 2017. And so that's what I did, and I kept working on my craft. Started to read a lot of Gary Vee books, so Crush It and Crushing It.
Yeah.
So shout out to Gary Vee, and I heard him say like basically in order to work with those people you just need to DM. And I'm like, back then I used to think like DMs, like do they actually work? Like they actually work. Like you'd be surprised. Like if you put like 100 list of people who you want to work with, or maybe even 20, you DM all 20 of them, watch how many of them will like respond. Probably like 6 out of 20. So now you have like 6 out of 20 people you could work with and get all the content you want or work with them. So that's what I did with one of the content creators. I don't know if you want to continue with this conversation. With the
Are you alluding to Nas Daily?
Yeah
Basically,
yeah. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So basically, I saw his Instagram story. I never knew Nas before. So one of my friends were like, oh, there's this Israeli Arab guy who is making 1-minute videos. It's so interesting. He pitches good ideas, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow him. I followed him on Facebook and on Instagram. A week later, he happens to be in New York. He's like, hey guys, I'm in New York. I'm creating this content. Whoever wants to work with me, please DM me or call me. And then I called him. There's a call button on Instagram, and his phone was basically directed to Instagram. Never do that. Never call someone, guys. No, I don't recommend it. Maybe DM, but don't call. But for this case, it happened to be the right thing for me. I called him. He didn't pick up. And then he called me like after 2 hours, and I'm like, he's calling, and then I don't like recognize the number, and then I'm calling out. I'm like, hello, who's this? He's like, oh yeah, somebody called me, and then I could hear his voice. I'm like, hey dude, you're Nas, right? Blah blah blah. And like, oh, I saw your story, like you want to collab with like creators. And he's like, yeah, I'm in New York. I would have a free time in 2 days. Let's get talking and like let's talk about things. I'm like, okay. And then we started DMing, texting, got his number, and then we create a video. How cheap is New York City? That video gets like, I don't know, 200,000 views over a day. And that was my first collab with him. It was pretty successful. I took him to Brooklyn, my neighborhood. He got to fly his drone. I guess that was the first time where my mom saw kind of a difference, I guess, because they never believed in something like that with social media stars. And then I remember I got the keys from my mom to go to the rooftop, and when she gave me the keys, and she's like, oh, who's that guy? And then my mom didn't know. My sister was in the office, And then she's like, oh, this is the Nas Daily guy, And then she showed my mom, and then my mom was like, oh, why don't you bring him in? Like, we could, it's like the traditional stuff. We could get to know each other, like maybe have lunch. And I was like, Mom, we don't have time. We just like need to shoot and leave, So that's what we did. And then he ended up calling me to his birthday party. He counts his birthdays as percentages. So he's turning, I don't know, 33% or 34%. I don't know. So I went to that party and I saw many other creators. So I had my first hyperlapse ready on my phone. So I saw Piano Around the World. I don't know if you know him.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, Dotan Negrin. So that's where I showed him my hyperlapse. I'm like, that's what I could create, That's what I do. And then Dotan was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, that's what I need. Like, Dotan needed this kind of person who could stitch up pictures and export them. Because he did create, like, all these GIFs back when he was, like, traveling when he was on the road. But he didn't know how to stitch them up. And he needed a guy. So I was the guy. I kind of approached him and showed him. I was like, dude, that's what I need.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, and then that's how we got to work with Dotan Negrin, Piano Around the World. And then just like the snowball kept rolling and rolling after that because of Dotan, yeah.
I kind of want to go back to the phone call.
Yeah.
So first, why do you say no one should do the phone call? Like, from someone that it's worked for, why do you think it's not a good idea?
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, Nas is not an American, If they're American creators who are from the West, basically, people don't like that, Yeah. Nas is like, he's an Israeli. He like visits all around the world. He has different kind of mentality. He gets all these cultural values from different countries because he's always on the road and he's not in like one place. But it's weird, like even for a New Yorker, like people like. When I go to my friend's house, I text them I'm here. I don't even call them. You know what I mean? That's like the culture now. That's how I feel, But yeah, if it's an international creator, just call him.
Yeah,
he doesn't mind that.
So when you were making that phone call, were you nervous at all?
No. I mean, I forgot the feelings. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I just called. He didn't pick up.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to pick up. So I was like. That's the thing. You shouldn't expect for a person to pick up, and not ruin your day. I'm expecting to pick him up. When he called me, I was like, damn, he really called me back. And I really thought like his phone number could have been fake or like some phony number on Instagram. It turned out it wasn't. So
yeah, that's awesome. And then so back to Piano Around the World.
Yeah,
Dotan is his name, right?
Dotan. Yeah.
And so were you working full time for him?
I was working part-time for him. So we used to go out on the weekends on Sundays by West Broadway and Prince Street, I think. Yeah. And he used to play his piano, and I used to shoot videos of him loading his piano and unloading it to the streets and playing it and get reactions from people. I used to do that for him, for a good couple months on the weekends.
That's awesome. You just transport the piano in a truck?
Yeah, he has a van, yeah.
Yeah?
He has this Ford van.
Yeah.
It's red color. Yeah, he has a van, and then he transports on that.
Did you only do stuff in New York with him, or did you ever travel with him anywhere?
He took me to California once. So after knowing him for a couple of months, he was like, VidCon is pretty close. Do you want to go there? I could get you tickets. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
VidCon? Hell yeah. I'll go. So yeah, he got the tickets, and it was my first time in California too. It was awesome. I was basically being treated like a celebrity going there because Dotan was called as one of the creators, so they gave him all access pass in the hotel, backstage, cars, and all that, and it was like amazing. So I was with him throughout the trip, and yeah. It was like awesome. A VIP stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
They take care of us really well.
Do you have any crazy stories from that VidCon trip?
I don't think so, because like when all the crazy things happened, we're like in the hotel, or like we're not in the venue.
Yeah.
Like when crazy things like Logan did, you know, when he went out on the, you know, water fountain.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was there. I don't know. I think I was there. Yeah, I think I was on the roof watching it from up there. Yeah, I think I was there. Yeah. I can't recall, but I saw all this craziness happen. All the people were like squished in together, chasing Logan Paul. And I'm like, damn, this guy.
Yeah.
I was there. Yeah.
That's crazy. And then so when you're at, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
When you're at VidCon, did you network with anybody? Like Logan Paul was right there. He's one of the biggest creators on the platform right now. Is there anyone you met when you were there?
Damn. No, like I wish I did, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't expect, like I didn't want to like network with anybody. I was there to like purely enjoy the process because Dotan called me. I don't want to like, I had no thoughts of networking with anyone because everyone was just like having a good time. You know, it was like not everyone's talking like about creating something, but just like sharing their stories. But I've met so many people, but I was kind of in my grounds with Dotan, and I approached a couple of people because I was their fan. I was like, hey, I watch your videos. Yeah. And then they said hi to my vlogs, to my little sister. And I made this compilation of like all these YouTube stars saying hi to my little sister. And she freaked out, obviously.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, because she watches those people, and like Liza Koshy said hi, or like Logan Paul, hi Justine, What's Inside. So like I got those people to say hi to my sister, make a video, and then she just freaked out. But I didn't really network with anybody there because I think I was just like young, maybe naive too. But if you would put me in a room right now, I just like go talk to anybody, like start discussing like what I could be useful for them, you know. So and like yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And then so why did you kind of stop working with piano again or around the world?
I didn't stop working with him. It's just because he had a business to run. So you know what 368 is now, right?
Yeah.
Dotan was doing that before 368.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so he had this pop-up shop right across the street of 368. It's one block over. He worked with like many brands, like Beats by Dre, one of them. I can't recall, like so many companies he worked with. And that was his, he owned a business, and he brought all these pop-up shops to open, and he worked with a couple of YouTubers too. They used to come during the summer, open a pop-up shop and then close it down, but he never made a video about it. That's the thing, you know, like I wanted to make a video for him because he was just so tired. He was just like run around, take care of all this stuff, you know. It's just like it takes a huge toll on your body just running a whole business on your own, you know. But over time he built his team. Now he has like team of 3 or 4 people working with him in that place, just doing pop-up shops like that. And that's why he made a video recently like, hey, I've been doing this for a long time but never made a video. That's the thing, he never made a video about it. Now he wants to like get back on YouTube and share his stories, but he's pretty tired just like being or managing a business, you know what I mean? So
yeah, no kidding.
That's what it is. But I think he already has like content creators that come to him and like create, but not full time. But hopefully he will get back on track on YouTube. Yeah. But he loves what he does. So he loves the connections he makes through his pop-up shops. Yeah, I love it too because when I was in his pop-up shops, there's always a creators event that goes on. It's Sara Dietschy's event. It's called Hustle NY. Yep. So most of the time she throws a party there in 393 by Dotan's place. I really love it. Like the energy you feel in that place is just amazing. It's just all creators, no strangers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's awesome. And then so it was at a Hustle NY event that you met Sara, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so is that kind of where you made the relationship to start working with her a little bit?
So the story was like this. So Dotan called me. He was like, hey, if you're around the town, like come, there's an event going on, creators event, blah, blah, blah. And I went to the event and I saw these like huge YouTubers. I felt so small, you know? And then, I don't know if you know nothing about tech.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Jacqueline. She's like a 16-year-old
Yes. Yeah.
tech
Okay.
YouTuber. And then she showed up. We were like both small YouTubers, like feeling insecure, all, like, damn, like these are all huge YouTubers. And then we're having a conversation, and I asked her what she did. She was like, oh, I worked with Sarah. We did this and this, like a review of a phone or something. And we got to exchange our Instagrams with Nothing But Tech, Jacqueline. She was the only person I think I genuinely made a connection with on that night, like a networking event. And then over time, I talked to like a couple other dudes, and Sarah was there too. And then when Sarah was there, I just did a quick hyperlapse within the spot, like there within the creators event. And I showed her this what I do, like when the time's right, you just have to do it, not think about it. So I just grabbed her camera. I don't remember if it was my camera or her camera, because I got to be friends with her video editors.
Okay.
So they're like, oh, you could do this? I'm like, yeah. So I think I grabbed their camera and like started shooting hyperlapses, and they showed it to Sarah, and Sarah was impressed. She was like, oh, we have to connect then, like let's make a video. And then she gave me her number. I gave her my number. And we got to the point of collaboration. It took us like maybe 3 months.
Really?
To collaborate, yeah. 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
So over the 2 to 3 months, we got to collaborate, because her time wasn't always like working with it, because she was always traveling, making videos with other content creators. And when the time was right, it was right. So we just came to a decision one time, and then we got to shoot the whole thing in one day.
Really? It was the Intel video, right?
It was the Intel video, yeah.
So how was that whole day? Like, it was probably pretty hectic, right?
No, it wasn't.
Really?
Like I went there 4 p.m. and we shot until like 7 p.m. Took us 3 hours to shoot.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
It's not like that was the easiest like collab ever. Like the way Sarah works, she makes it look so easy. Like with other content creators, they go crazy when they create something. They stress out, like with Sarah was just like, okay, that's what you have to say. This is the shot we need. This is what we do. So yeah, I mean, that was the easiest collab ever. Like I was not stressed out. It's so easy. Like she knew how to get all the shots, and she had everything planned out, where to go, how to shoot, and then the day was over.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So she's really well organized then when it comes to her videos.
Yeah, very well organized. Yeah, like all the other creators that I have worked with, they're probably not. Like they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very fair. So was there like any hiccups at all or anything when you were filming with her? Or it was all pretty smooth sailing?
No, like all smooth. Everything was smooth. Yeah.
And then,
I'm telling you, like 3 hours to shoot a hyperlapse.
like crazy. Yeah. And you shot multiple hyperlapses that day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you edit any of them? Like, did you put the hyperlapses together and send them to her? Or?
No, she was the one who edited the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I think John Hill watched your hyperlapse too, which was probably pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, I wish I knew more about John Hill.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But like, I need to look into John Hill more. Yeah. I hear a lot of guys talk about him. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's crazy though, like with just the amount of creators and like big creators there are nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I listened to a podcast the other day with FaZe Rug, and I'd never heard of FaZe Rug before. He has like 11 million subs.
I've heard of FaZe Rug.
But it's just like that was just an example. But there's so many big creators that it's hard to keep up with all of them.
Oh yeah, there's so many creators. Yeah.
It's crazy. But I did want to ask what it was like when you were watching Sarah's video and you were in it. Was that kind of cool?
Oh hell yeah, that was like one of my best days. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't expecting more of a collab than that.
Yeah.
Like, damn, it was just like the best collab ever. I was so happy. Yeah, I was sharing it everywhere on my socials. Like it was the best day. Yeah, it was like one of the best days ever. And yeah.
Yeah, and then it was a little while after there that you went to Candace's pop-up shop, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a month after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
a
that's
month after.
where you really met Casey and Dan, right?
So, yeah, like networking is really important. So I just went there. The thing is, I saw Casey's story, and he was like, "Oh, when you're like, if you guys are around, you just come by on the Candace's pop up shop, and say hi." I was like, I was not in the city. I was in Brooklyn. I didn't have a car. I hated to take like train to the city. It's like everyone sweats in the subway. It's just like crazy. So I got my car to go. That there's an app that's called Car to Go. So it's just like a smart car, you know. And I got to, I was able to park it like right on the street where the pop-up shop was, and I just went there. Guess who I see?
Casey and Dan.
No.
No?
Dotan.
No way.
He's like, dude, what are you up to? I'm like, I don't know. I just saw Casey's story. I'm coming here, you know? And he's like, okay, cool. Let's get inside. And nobody was like inside. Casey and Dan were outside, and all the fans were like trying to take pictures with Casey and Dan. We went inside. Candace was there, and we were just chilling for a second, and then Dan and Casey popped up. So, and then right after that, Dotan introduced me to Dan. He was like, oh, he makes like crazy hyperlapses. You have to see it. And then I showed Dan the videos that I had made. He was like, holy shit, like, I have this video idea. Can you do it? And then he showed me like a sample of a hyperlapse work. I'm like, totally, I could do it. Yeah, definitely. Right then and there, like, Dan took down my number. Mm-hmm. He was like, what's your number? Like, I'll take it down. And then he took the number down. He texted me. He was like, Dan. And then he likes to do this thing with the voiceover stuff. He never texts. He just like does, hey, bro, what's up? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. So I have a task for you. Do this, do that, you know, like all that stuff. He never like texts, like just voiceovers, like voice texts, you know. And yeah, that's what happened. He took down my number, and then we went to Casey, and then Dan told Casey what I did. And he was like, dude, take down his number. We have to collab. And I thought Casey was kidding, you know, like Casey's a busy guy, you know. Yeah. I never expected a phone call or anything like that. So I just started to work with Dan, with Dan's videos, just like made hyperlapses, and then he started to credit me. That's how most of my followers came to be on my socials, from Dan's videos. And over time, I guess a month passed, or maybe two, and Dan calls me. He was like, dude, it's time to be in Casey's video. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I was like heading down to work too, you know. I called my work and like, I can't go today. Yeah. Forget about it.
I don't blame you, yeah, but that
forget it. Like, I could have quit the job, you know, even though it's like a normal job. It's a great job that I work at, but if they said like, if you don't come, like, we fire you, I'll be like, fine.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't care. Like, this is like dreams in the making. Like, I don't care if I get fired. But yeah, I mean, I called into work and I was like, hey, like, I have this thing going on. I'm collabing with like one of the big creators on YouTube. And they were so understanding. They were like, cool, like, that's amazing. Go ahead, do it. Like, we'll see you tomorrow, whatever. Yeah. And then, yeah, I took an Uber to the city. I didn't even like take the subway. I was like, okay, I'm gonna Uber myself. Just go there as soon as possible. These guys need me. They could change their minds in a couple seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's how creators are. They're so busy that they need to keep up with their days and like their schedules. So I was like, I have to be there on time. So after Dan called me, I was like there within like 40-50 minutes, and then we were just like out shooting hyperlapses, and yeah.
That's crazy.
And sequence for the intro.
Yeah, for the 368 intro. Yeah. So, like, what were your nerves like going into meeting Casey, like, to work with him for the first time? I know in your video you posted your hand was, like, shaking. Like,
yeah, my hands were shaking. Like, this is, like, dreams in the making. Like, I've been waiting for this day for, like, ages, and, like, it's finally here, you know? But I never expected that to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, this was, like, the least of my expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when it happened, it was just like, holy damn. Okay, let me just go and do it. Yeah. My hands were shaking. I was so nervous. But when I got there, I was calm. Like, really? Everything just was natural.
That's good.
Yeah.
How did it feel to walk through the door into Casey's office for the first time?
Oh, man. it feels amazing, but you just don't want to blush in front of them. You know what I mean? Like you could see in Casey's videos, there are like a couple of fanboys just like enter the office, and they're like, "Holy damn, finally!" You know?
Yeah.
Could breathe and smell Casey in that office. You know?
Yeah.
And then when I just entered, it's just like I said in my videos, just like it was better than like entering the red steps on Oscar. You know?
Oh
like,
yeah.
You've been watching this guy for like years, and you're finally in his office. It's amazing, you know. It's an amazing feeling. When I got there, it just like shook Casey's hand, and then Dan was telling me, okay, we're doing this and this and this. We need to do it for the intro sequence, and yeah, I just grabbed the bike, and they grabbed their boosted boards, and we left because I can't ride boosted boards.
Really?
You know? I can't ride a skateboard, so
That's fair.
yeah. Casey offered me. I'm like, I'm gonna crack my head open with that.
Yeah.
And then I was telling myself, I was like, you should have trained for this day, dude. Yeah, you should have trained for this day. But yeah, I took the jump bikes, and then we were out, and then we started to shoot. Yeah. It was a crazy moment where I lost them. They just like they were gone. They were like going super fast. And Dan kind of like shared his location, and that's how I kind of found them over time. Like, oh, you guys are there, so okay, I'm gonna go there. You know, it was a great day. Yeah.
So and
I was sweating a lot too.
Yeah. Oh, because it's the middle of the summer, so it's probably pretty hot out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I were to guess,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that shoot was probably a little bit more hectic than the one you did with Sara.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never shot hyperlapse that fast in my life.
Yeah.
Like the hyperlapse I shot of Casey, like doing a 360, it was like probably 30-second each. I did that within like under a minute. Like it was so fast. Yeah. Because we were like on the go.
Oh, for sure. Like he's very go himself.
Yeah, it was like go, let's go. We got to take this shot. We were like in and out the office, taking different lenses, like getting shots that we need, you know. And that was a time where Casey was running twice a day.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like he was running in the morning, and he was running like in the evening. So I'm like, damn, how does he do it? Like 7 miles in the morning, 7 miles at night. It's ridiculous. He's like, I got to get my run in. And we're like crazy. Like, yeah. The guy was just like on the go. Yeah. I wish I had like that kind of energy every single day. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what is Casey Neistat like in real life? Like, I was just like, is he just a nice guy? Like, what was kind of when you walked away from that shoot, like, how did you feel about Casey Neistat still?
I felt like I was talking to a friend, basically, you know. He was really cool. Like, we were sharing stories and stuff and laughing, smiling, you know. It was like a great day. Yeah. I don't know, like before this camera was on, or before the mic was on, right? Remember the conversations we had?
Yeah.
Same kind of conversations. Like, he's just another dude.
Yeah. As soon as the camera comes on, like, he can like snap into like.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But when the camera goes on, it's just like we gotta get our lines straight. We gotta know what to say. We gotta know how to shoot. It's just like all about work and creating content. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, and plus, like I remember the moment where Casey was like, "What is hyperlapse? Explain it to me in simple words." And I was trying to do it as simple as I can, and he's like, "That's not simple enough." You know, I want a kid to understand within this video what hyperlapse is. And then I had to break it down like within like a couple of seconds, like what it is. And and he finally made kind of an intro what hyperlapse is to his vlogs, because Casey tries to simplify everything for anyone to understand in his videos. He doesn't want to complicate any words. And that's what I love about him. And that's why I guess most of us are subscribed to him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel like.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then after that, you collabed with Dan again for his 100 Filmmakers project, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like a little bit of a nepotism because we've worked in the past together.
Yeah.
He said he needs like 100 filmmakers all around the world to represent their country. And I had like a bunch of footages from back in my country, which is Uzbekistan, you know. So like, Dan, I have all these videos I could send you, you know, can I be part of it? He's like, totally. And then I emailed him all the time lapses and then the footages, and then I was part of that video too. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So he got quite a bit of flack for that though, didn't he? Like when he put it out, like he got like hate online for it a little bit.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dan was on the go too. Like he was pumping out content every single week, and that kind of content takes so long to make.
Oh yeah.
Like regular productions, they would take anywhere 2 to 3 months to make that kind of video, and he was pulling out all these content all by himself and his team within a week.
Yeah.
Which is insane deadline, you know, like that's such a fast. You have to be working every single day for like 12, 13 hours on that project to make it possible to reach that kind of amount of like views, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or that kind of amount of people. Yeah, no wonder he got hate. It's just like because his brain can't work that fast, you know what I mean? You have to be able to process the whole thing. But he was just like on the go trying to make the content he was intended to make, you know? I don't blame anyone, but
yeah.
I don't blame Dan. I mean, the video was amazing. I don't know why people.
Yeah, I was really confused.
Yeah,
because Dan's probably one of my like just his style of filmmaking is probably my favorite on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. Like all of his jump cuts, they're amazing. Yeah, but Dan kind of makes the videos of I don't know. He just gets to the point, and most of the people love sugarcoating a video and then getting to the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about Dan.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's fair. And then you also did a little bit of collabing with Justin Odisho.
Justin and I, we go back all the way back in 2017 when I was starting to learn Premiere Pro. Yeah, so I was in his Instagram Live all the time back then. So like we were up like 3 a.m. Like there were like 9-10 people in his live, and he would like answer all the questions on how to edit videos.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah. So we go back, back in 2017. So, yeah.
See, I didn't know that because I knew there was like he did a meetup in New York that you went to once.
Yeah, because he's my buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
I support him like fully because it's because of him I learned how to edit on Premiere Pro. So I used to like reach out on the DMs through Instagram, like, dude, how do you edit this? He's like, oh, just do this, do that, you know? And that's how I learned editing through Justin Odisho.
Yeah. And then so one thing I was curious too is when you've collabed with all these people, did you see a lot of people come over to like your social channels and check you out and stuff? Or what did you see like in terms of like cross-pollination between audiences?
Okay, so a lot of people, they come, they check out your page, they like a couple of stuff. Not everyone follows you. But when you get a following, they automatically become fans of you. They start DMing you. But that's like, I believe from 100 people, there are probably 10 people who come and become an actual fan of your work. You know what I mean? But the other 90 people, or 90% you would say, they would just forget about you and they go on with their day. Yeah. But it's all up to you on what to create after that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because like I remember because I first followed you after the Sara video.
Okay.
And it was just cool because I was like, oh, I saw you in the Sara video, like these hyperlapses are sweet, and then like a couple of weeks later, you're in like Casey's videos and Dan's videos, and I was just surprised that you didn't have like a bigger following after doing that. You know what I mean? Like, like way up there. You know?
I see.
It was interesting for me. Like, do you know why like people weren't following you? Like, I'm just curious because like I followed you because I thought your shit was sweet.
Damn. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I was just honestly shocked they didn't have a bigger following. You know?
I don't know. It was just like the credibility, I guess. Maybe they weren't like I wasn't credited rightfully.
Yeah.
Because I was credited on my YouTube a lot, but that's why my YouTube grew to like maybe from 1,000 subscribers to like 4,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
But my Instagram was also like on the 1,200 area or 1,500 area.
Yeah.
I think I grew a bit, but it wasn't tremendous. It's because I have no idea. Like I can't tell you why.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you why. Like I don't know.
No, that's fair. I was just honestly curious because like
Yeah, I'm kind of confused why too. Like
yeah,
I see all these people like that have so many followings and haven't done much work, but I kind of like to have like minimal following, but also meaningful ones who kind of come and actually check out my work.
yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah, I don't know why I haven't like got the following I needed to. But I think like Dan's videos or Dan's credits just helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
To
That's
accumulate all these followings.
Yeah, and then so speaking of like your YouTube,
But the thing is, if you're like, I've never thought about this. Like,
Yeah.
you asked me this question, and like that got me thinking.
Yeah.
I've never like asked that question on my head. Like, why don't I have like so much followings? And I guess when you think about numbers, it gets you kind of down. I don't know. I don't care about the numbers, to be honest.
yeah,
I just care about the quality of my work and whoever likes it. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's very fair.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what are your plans for YouTube then? Like, what's kind of like your vision when you think of your YouTube page?
So I'm kind of creating vlogs right now. I will try to do weekly vlogs, but I want to create a company too. I already have, so I want to work on that. Start my production company, and just make videos and help people get jobs basically through the production company and see where it goes. You know, but first, like I need to start making my own content and working for people or working with brands. But I feel like everything's going fine now because I just moved to New York City. Always wished to move there and finally happened. But hopefully, yeah, that's my bigger goals in life. Not just YouTube, but also have a production company, have people that I like work with me, you know, because I kind of hate being alone and working alone. You know, that's like a little too. You're kind of individualized, you know, like it's great working alone, but also working with team, you get a lot more done, basically. Yeah. But YouTube is a space of like being individual. I feel like
That's very true.
yeah.
So then with the aspirations of having your own company and stuff, like where do you land on with handing off work for other people to do? Because I feel like a hard thing with creators is they're used to creating from the beginning to the end of the process. Like, do you think you'll be able to easily hand off work for other people to do for you?
No, definitely not. I want to start doing it on my own first. Yeah, I would definitely have to be on my own.
Yeah.
And have people with me. I will be leading all the projects. I'll be leading all the edits and see where it's gonna take me. And over time, if I can trust the team, I can hand them the work over time. If I don't trust the team, I have to be the leader, or I have to be the guy who does all the stuff, editing, sound, and all that. Yeah.
That's fair. And I wanted to ask you about vlogging. And
Yep.
more so like vlogging in public.
Oh yeah.
How are you able to do that? Like, 'cause I feel like with a lot of people, like they want to vlog, but that barrier is vlogging in public is something that a lot of people feel like they can't do.
Oh man. I guess all these bigger YouTubers, I feel like they put I don't know, like they have this feeling where there's nobody in the street except them. And if they want to get their message across to the camera, they will do it with all cost. You know what I mean? But when you do it every day, you break that barrier of like you feeling kind of shy, you feeling kind of insecure about yourself. But when you do it every day, when you like practice with the camera, whoever talks to you or whoever talks about you, like that starts becoming not your concern. You know, at the end of the day, all you want to do is like get to the point, say whatever you want to say to the camera, and then get the greatest shot, and then post it, and then see how many people will like it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. And then so what's kind of like your strategy with Instagram?
Instagram is like my favorite platform right now. I don't know what to feel about the Instagram TV, but I definitely love like posting my work on Instagram because that's where I get a lot of requests for work, for collaborations, for any kind of things. Yeah, I love Instagram. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. When you're posting, is there like a time of day or a day of the week that you try to post for that you see get most of your engagement?
Um, I don't think that actually works, but I used to post at 2 o'clock, like every single day for a month or 2 weeks. Like I've done that. I don't think it actually works. So it doesn't matter what time of the day you post. Some of your followers, they're awake at night, all night. They start tapping like buttons, and some of the followers, they're at work all day or at school. So I don't really care what time of the day I post. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just kind of, once you've got your content, you just put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you talked about recycling old content and using it again.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it all the time.
Yeah.
If the post went viral or popular, like you shouldn't post that again, because it doesn't make sense. But if a post that does a little bit what you're not expected to do, you could post that again after a year or a year and a half, because people won't notice what that is. But some people would like it, like, oh, that's a cool shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how often do you use like older content and repost it as opposed to creating new content?
I recycle the content at least not just once. So it'd be like the content I created in 2016, 17, I would post it once in 2019, and that's it. I'll probably forget about it. But then like creating a new content, I would try to do that. I haven't done it for 2 months now, but the first content I made for Instagram was like a week ago, like a couple of days ago. I haven't even posted it yet, so I'm just waiting for the right moment to post, because it gets hectic while posting every single day, and then your main concern becomes like posting on Instagram every single day, where you have like work to do or like anything else you have to take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. So what's next for you? Like, what do you got coming up right away?
Right now, nothing. So I'm just trying to work, create content, and start working with people who I want to work with, and start basically building a company. I don't know how well it's gonna do, but that's the first step of business too. I'm trying to actually shoot a wedding, and these aren't the like regular type of weddings where you shoot with your camera and like throw in edits and a couple of filters. It's not like that. It's like a high production, and I'm trying to see like how I can push this forward, because it's good when you create your own content and like make your own videos, but when it comes to like something like a wedding, it kind of overwhelms me, because it's somebody's special day.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
So I've had like so many chances to like shoot a wedding on my own, but I used to work with like people who shoot wedding videos, but it's like it's their concern how the wedding's gonna come out, like the drone shots, all the sequences, all the cinematic shots. Like if the client has something to say, they're gonna go complain to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get at least one wedding, like this spring, and see how I could do it. And if I do a great job, amazing. I could keep doing it with my company. But it's just like you feel it's like the risk you have to take, basically.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a huge step. Just like anything else. Like a kid is afraid of walking at first, because he's afraid to fall.
Yeah.
So this is how it is with business,
Yeah.
You're basically learning how to walk, and your worst fear is just like falling. It actually happens to everybody, but everyone picks themselves up and then walk again, That's how kids do it.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
And then out of all the content you make, what do you hope people take away when they view your content?
Don't waste your time.
Yeah?
Make your own. Like if you're inspired, make your own. Yeah. I mean, there's so much content on social media. It just winds your time away, But if you really like something, take a look at it. If you love it, like it, But I would tell people not to waste their time on social medias. So there's so much to be lived for. You know what I mean? Social media isn't the only thing.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I mean, I should be telling people like, oh, watch all these people, like all these pictures. It's just wasting time, at the end of the day. But if you genuinely like somebody's work, follow them. If you don't, why bother? You know what I mean? It's just like, that's what I do on my social medias now. I try to manage my time and start unfollowing people who do great jobs, obviously, but I waste my time watching their work instead of creating mine. You know what I mean? So don't waste your time on social medias.
Yeah, that's very fair. And so now before we kind of wrap it up, I usually do a Q&A, which is like random questions. But before we do the Q&A, I have a new segment for all the podcasts we're going to record in New York. Okay. The segment's called Hayden's Question.
What's the question?
Hayden's question.
Hayden's question. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a question from Hayden, and he said, when you're going and you're talking to these influencers for the first time, how much of it are you being yourself, and how much are you trying to say exactly what they want to hear?
Well, I'm totally myself when I pitch anything to them. It's basically comes down to what I could offer them. If I can offer a service that they need, they will be totally down to collaborate with me. But if I can't offer them anything in service or in value, I'm basically worthless to them. You know what I mean? Just like any other human being, you have to develop a skill that somebody could use. That's a harsh reality of the world, nobody will call you and be like, hey, come be part of us, we're gonna collaborate. No, what can you offer on the table? If you have something to be offered on the table, we'll call you. If you don't, I'm sorry. Just go try again and find your passion, develop your skills, and come back. That's what it means. No doesn't mean no. No means go become the better version of yourself, learn the skill you have, that you have inside, develop it, and come back. Yeah. That's what no means. So yeah, you have to be yourself. There is no faking it, You just go, you talk to the person, and then you either get rejected or you get accepted. That's the simple of it. But don't get mad when you get rejected, because rejection, it feeds your soul to become a better person, Do you
have any other advice for people that are wanting to collaborate with big influencers like you have? But maybe that advice was it, right?
Yeah. That's advice.
Yeah. That's fair.
Just work on your craft. I also listened to one of the rappers. His name is, I don't know if he's a rapper or a hip hop or R&B singer. His name is Gashi. He's under the label of Jay-Z. So he literally went and he gave a CD to Jay-Z while signing it, the fan meetup. Jay-Z got the CD and then he threw it to the garbage. That didn't stop him making videos or making content. He kept making music. But over time he got signed by the label of Jay-Z. And he finally works with Jay-Z. So don't let rejection overwhelm you or stop making content. Just keep creating what you're good at, and over time it'll be good.
So we're just gonna do a Q&A. I used to call it rapid fire, but when I say rapid fire, people think rapid answers. You can elaborate if you want to. If you want to keep it rapid fire, you totally can. First question is, what's a show you're binging right now?
What is it?
What's a show that you're binging right now on TV? What are you watching on Netflix?
I'm not watching anything.
Why?
Because I think I was watching this Netflix show. I forgot what it was. It was something about a crazy guy who falls in love with a girl or something. You?
I think so.
Was it? Yeah, you. Yeah. I finished that in 2 days or 3 days. I told myself never again. Why would you spend so much time watching a show? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I saw it, I'm like, no, I'm not watching it ever again. I was basically wasting my time. I could have used my time for better stuff to do. But instead, I was carried away with this show, Yeah.
That's fair. What's your favorite app that's not Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram?
My favorite app. I would have to say. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have to see. I use Waze a lot, so I don't know. Waze is one of the, except Waze and Tinder. I'm kidding. There's this app it's called Wemo.
Okay.
WEMO. So that kind of controls all the lights in my apartment.
Oh, sweet.
And makes it so easy to like to turn on and like have the mood going on. But I don't know, like what else. Also, smooth parking.
Yeah.
Is my favorite. If I know my car is parked in the right place for the cleaning zone or like the meter zone.
True.
I could see where my car is and see like if it's okay. Because I remember like back then when I used to park my car, I used to literally dress up, go outside, look at the sign if it was okay to park there, and I come back in. With this app, it's just like I take a look at the signs, and if it's a normal parking, it's good, you know.
Yeah.
But I would like with social medias, Instagram is my favorite.
Yeah.
Definitely Instagram. Yeah.
Who are some creators that people should follow?
Who are some creators
That people should follow? Like, who is people you follow that you think other people should go check out?
I don't really like. I don't follow a lot of creators now because basically, I think Sara Dietschy is one of the best ones. Who else? Who else? Let me see. On top of my head, I can't say from on top of my head.
It's all good, man.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I can't give you one particular person on social media because I don't really like. Let me get into it. Okay, like when you start becoming a creator, right? You start blocking the amount of people you start following because they kind of take away much of your time, and you start basically losing your time watching their content. So you become this person where I don't have time for this. I need to create my own. You know what I mean? So I would say Sara Dietschy is pretty cool, and Infinite Elliott, Sarah's intern. He's only 17. He creates those like crazy boomerang videos with drone. I think he's worth following. That's it for now. Yeah, I mean, these are the only people like I could say.
That's cool
to follow.
Yeah. Do you have any music that you're listening to right now? Like, what's some of the most listened to artists you got right now?
I used to listen to Drake all the time. I still do. So yeah, just Drake.
Any books that you'd recommend?
The books that I recommend. Okay, so I've basically read a couple books in the past couple of years that really helped me, and it's called, I think, Mastering Yourself by Corey Wayne, and also one more book. It's called How to Be 3% Men by also Corey Wayne. So yeah, but I'm actually reading Robert Greene's books now. So I'm getting into it. So if anyone wants to read 48 Powers of Law, I think. Have you read that? It's one of the most influential books out there. A lot of presidents and people who are in the leadership read the book and who basically follow by the rules of 48 laws, you know.
That's awesome.
That's it.
Are there any podcasts that you listen to?
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a good one.
I mean, his podcasts are the best. Like, I could go on for hours listening to it, basically, and it feels like you were there. And if you have questions, like before you have any questions, they already get into the topic. You know what I mean? So I love Joe Rogan's podcast. Yeah, there's like it's unfiltered. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
It's
sure.
just like pure human beings talking to each other, sharing their feelings of anything. Yeah.
Do you have any consistent morning and night routines?
I don't think so. I like to take a shower before I go to sleep. That's it.
Yeah. That's fair though, man. So this question I stole from Gary Vee.
Okay.
So it's, what are you obsessed with, but it's not from like a high level. It's from a very like specific level. Like I recently got these new slippers and they're so comfy. I'm obsessed with these slippers. Just something very like random and specific you're obsessed with.
Random and specific.
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to answer that when you heard the question? Did you have to like?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it
took you a couple seconds or a couple minutes? Like
when I first heard that question? Yeah. Probably a little while.
A little while.
Yeah.
I need a little time.
That's all good, man. Yeah, you get that.
AirPods.
Okay.
AirPods.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the best thing ever. Like the thing is, I lost the one on my left in my parents' house. I told them, if you find it, please let me know. Yeah, because like I keep losing them, and it's like the worst thing. And I appreciate it so much with the genius that created AirPods. Like these are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could be working through with my laptop with this, and nobody would know like I'll be working. There's no like wires tangling around, and I could be connected to my phone. It's amazing. Yeah, AirPods.
That's fair. What are 3 items on your bucket list?
To buy?
Or just anything?
3 items.
Or just like 3 things, like maybe travel's one of them, or you want to buy something like.
I'd say move to California. Live there at least 2 years. What else? That's my first.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to the city already. I can't say that, Well, have my own place in the city without roommates. I don't know if I want that though, because being alone in the city, you would hate it. You need roommates because like the roommate spirit is always great. Like you guys have fun, you guys go out, you always have somebody to talk to. Because New York City is like a lonely place. I don't know if anyone mentioned that. Even though they're like it's a city of like enormous amount of people, it's still a lonely place, unless you have roommates, like it's always fun. What else? I don't know, go back to Uzbekistan maybe, get the full travel of, this is the third one basically. The third one is do the Mongol rally.
What's that?
So you basically get a car from like London, I don't know, like maybe Peugeot or something. I don't know, like they have these like cars you buy for a couple of grand, and they custom build it for you, so it goes all the way down to Mongolia. So you travel across like 17 countries within a month to make it to the end of Mongolia and come back. So you travel through all of Europe, you go to Iran, you go to like all these Turkmenistan, all these little countries, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and then you make it to Mongolia, Kyrgyzstan, and then you come back all the way back to London through Russia, which is like an amazing trip. Because when I was in Uzbekistan, I saw like a couple of tourists that were doing it for like already 30 days. I'm like, I was so inspired to do that. Yeah.
So if you're going to dinner and you could take 3 people, it can be anybody, they can be dead or alive, who would you take to dinner?
Robert Greene, as of right now. Gary Vee. Who else? I have to be smart with the third one. Definitely not Donald Trump. Who else? From the history, right? Dead or alive? Oh man, this is gonna be hard. I have to think about it. Robert Greene, Gary Vee, Tony Robbins.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to think about Tony Robbins. Yeah, like these 3 people would probably make like a great combination of like so much knowledge and like, yeah, like these 3 people would make an amazing dinner, basically telling all my flaws, whatever I had to work on, spiritual flaws, like it's amazing. Like all these 3 people, I'd probably like love to have dinner with in one night.
That's fair. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
Oh, don't listen to the outside noise. Yeah. basically you're a ship on the water. You don't let in any water into your ship, you're not gonna sink. So don't let the outside noise influence you, basically. That's the best advice ever given.
What is something that people wouldn't expect about you?
It could be anything. That wouldn't expect anything from me. Can you elaborate on the question?
Like, what's one thing about you people wouldn't expect? Like, when people meet you, what's something about you that they wouldn't?
I'm a quadrilingual.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they?
I speak 4 languages, and they're Russian, and it's Uzbek, and it's Persian, and the final is English. So 4 languages.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Not bad. What is one thing that you think everyone should know? Something that's so important that everybody should know about it?
Nobody cares. That's like so vague, and it also comes from Gary Vee. Like, nobody really cares what you do. Just do it. You know? Yeah. Nobody cares.
For the last question, I kind of flipped the script, and I want you to ask a question. Like, what's one thing that you want to know?
What's one thing I want to know?
About anything.
About anything. Oh my God. I have no idea. Like, I have to think about this answer. What's next? You know, based on technology and whatever we're going, you know, because this is like 20 years ago, this was a magic, you know, like people would freaking slap you on your face if you were to tell them you'd be able to talk to your uncle from back home by FaceTime. People wouldn't believe that 20 years ago. You would tell them, they would flip out. They would think like, what a sorcery is that, you know? So I'm like, yeah, I want to know what's next. Like, that's awesome. What it is, yeah. And in the tech era, maybe 50 years from now, like, where are we going to be? Like, this is going to be so crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
We might feel like so dull and stupid in 50 years. And our kids might be like the smart geniuses who were like Elon Musk. But even Elon Musk could be like, he's going to leave in history, but he could be like known as a littlest person in the future. Because like there's going to be a bunch of smart people creating different stuff. You know what I mean? But then again, Elon Musk is like one of the greatest inventors of all time right now. Yeah.
That's fair, man. Well, I just want to thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to give you the floor. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Parviz_Dov and on YouTube, Parviz Dov. That's it. 2 of the best social networks out there.
That's awesome. Thank you once again for coming on. And I just want to thank everyone for listening to this episode, whether you've listened the entire way through or you've only listened to bits and pieces. I really appreciate you taking the time to check this out. Do me a favor, guys, go check Parviz out. Again, I'll make sure everything's linked in the show notes down below. You can find him on Instagram and YouTube, like he said. And if you'd like to follow me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @thejacobkelly. Please be sure to leave us a rating and a review. Thank you once again for listening. We'll talk soon.